What's up, everybody? It's your 5-star realtor, Joshua Ingram, partnered with Page Properties team, brokered by EXP. We're on another episode of the podcast called Dream Builders Podcast. We got a special guest, Kyle Garrison, the owner of a nonprofit coffee shop here in Pooler, Georgia called Stir Coffee, and the pastor of the Relentless Church. How you doing, Kyle?
Good, how are you?
Man, living the dream. And I can't forget my team lead with Page Properties team, Bradford Page. How you doing, Bradford?
Joshua, great. Good to see you, Kyle.
Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time out.
Absolutely.
For sure. And it's an honor to have you. You know, this coffee shop been in Pooler, Georgia for a while now, but could you share the story behind Stir Coffee and how it aligns with your mission on love and good works within the community?
Yeah, I'm a coffee lover. I love to go to coffee shops and sit and work. And I thought one day, you know, how cool would it be to have a big space where not only individuals can come and work, but we can establish community and have people come drink great coffee and have great relationships.
For sure.
So we just kind of had a vision to create a great place for people to come and just network and make Pooler great.
Yeah. So how does Stir Coffee foster a sense of community and connecting with its customers?
Yeah, so one of the visions of making the coffee shop was to not have a small footprint. So we have a very large space where we encourage business meetings and groups to come and use the space for essentially for free, so they can come into the coffee shop while they get great beverages. They can do their thing, and they don't have to find a place to do that. There's a space in Pooler for that very thing.
For sure.
Beverages, quiche.
Sandwiches.
All kinds of good stuff.
For sure, and especially the bacon egg croissant. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
That's really,
Yeah.
when you warm it up with a muffin, it's definitely breathtaking.
All freshly made.
Yeah. So when did the coffee shop get started?
Yeah, so we launched September of 2022, actually. Okay. So this September will be 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So fairly new coffee shop.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as both the owner and pastor of the Relentless Church, how do you integrate your faith into the operation of the coffee shop?
Yeah, so I'm a big believer in giving. You know, the scripture tells us to give, and it will be given unto you, and all those things. So we thought to ourselves, there are so many people that need help.
Yeah.
So why not create a business where all the profit, instead of it going into pockets, take all the profit and just pour it into the community? Wow. So we thought to ourselves, you know, let's not just depend on the offering plate. Let's create a stream of revenue to go pour it out wherever we can.
For sure, really be the dot connector.
And I want to jump on that a little bit, because it's amazing how connections are made in this world. So we're on Route 80, kind of old Pooler. A lot of people don't even drive down 80 anymore. And I'd never heard of Stir Coffee, but you were sponsoring Gilliard and Company one day, and all the proceeds from that day were going. Of course, we've been working with Whitney and her company, and we have our little networking group, and we kind of we're outgrowing spaces. And we came, my wife and I, just to support Gilliard and Company. Yeah. Because you were giving that out, and let's go see it. And I was like, dang, you know, maybe this is a spot we need to be networking in. Yeah. And we went back to leadership and came and checked it out. So I don't know, you know, it's kind of different space, but all these other opportunities. Now we've outgrown the smaller space, your main living area, and now we're here. And you've been gracious enough to allow us to, you know, use this on Tuesday mornings, and then also allow us to use your church for another event that we did. I mean, it's just amazing. And all the profits from that, you just said, give it to Gilliard and Company.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give it right back to the community.
It's amazing what you're doing for this community.
One of my pet peeves growing up in church was that churches that were open on Sundays with huge facilities that were closed Monday through Saturday. So I kind of made a commitment to the Lord when I started Relentless almost 10 years ago now, that if we ever had our own facilities, that we would make sure that it's used as much as it can. So that's kind of why we open it up for all that.
Yeah, and I've seen in the last year or so, business has grown, it's booming. The connection here, the vibe here is welcoming, friendly.
Thank you.
You know, it's amazing. Really enjoy it.
For sure. So, Kyle, can you discuss some initiatives or programs that Stir Coffee undertakes to support charitable?
Yeah, so I know 3 organizations that we support. Gilliard and Company obviously is one of them, helping with kids and all that and fostering environments. Ansley's Rainbows of Hope. That's basically they help kids that are sick, go through traumatic experiences, and then the Leukemia and Society. So those are a few of the ones we help. And then just the day-to-day, I mean, businesses be able to come in for free. And then on top of that, we host different networking events for all kind of organizations and poolers. So, for instance, we have Bloom Candle. They come and put their candles in our coffee shop, and some of that goes toward nonprofits. So it's not just that we give for nonprofits, but we're also partnering with other nonprofits that give to nonprofits. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So when we talk about future expansion, what do you see Stir Coffee being that positive change in the community in the future?
Yeah, the more I see Stir Coffee grow, it's turning into something more than just a casual coffee shop.
Yeah.
It's becoming a hub. So our vision is let's make this facility as accessible as it can to businesses, which obviously brings in revenue, so that we can take those profits and. Let's say a tragic something happens in Pooler and a house burns down. Stir Coffee get to a place where we say, whatever your insurance doesn't pay, here's the money. Wow. We want to be able to be impacting the area in a great way.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And can you share like a personal successful story on your journey with Stir Coffee? I mean, really highlighting the individuals and community that you're affecting.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny that the day we opened, officially, we had all the decorations up and all that, and it was actually the same day that we were shut down for a hurricane. So we didn't have hardly anyone come in that day. We didn't know what we were going to do with that. We were thinking about closing. Do we keep it open? Well, we actually kept it open that day, and we prayed in the coffee shop that, Lord, do what you want to do. And what I have seen, if you want to call it success, is that the success of the coffee shop hasn't been because of our marketing. Yeah. It's been because of the networking that's going on in the coffee shop. Sure. And for us, seeing that organic growth for the coffee shop, for a pooler community, is what's been the most successful thing.
And it's really going to be, for me, really successful because, like you said, you are the hub and connector of small businesses or even people that are involved in this community to just come together and just share what they love to do. And seeing how we can support. That's awesome. That's awesome. So how do you balance the responsibilities of running a business and being a pastor?
Well, he's not running one business.
Business.
Tell us about all the things you do.
So,
briefly, we haven't got all that.
The founding pastor of the church, we started 10 years ago with 4 people. Started Stir Coffee. I do HOA inspections for a property management company. I do some trash pickups, and I'm getting into real estate actually. So I do quite a few different things.
So balancing all that, and how
So I heard John. He broke it down in such a way that really changed my life. He said, don't look at your days as in how much time do I have to give. He said, break down your time into units, and you get to determine what unit you want to give to what. So the way I kind of manage my days, it's not I have church and then I have coffee, I have this. It's how much of my units do I give to church to make sure that I'm not taking away from it, and then with all the other things as well. So church is my priority. Then on top of that, I'm a big believer in empowering people, and if I'm a great leader, I'm going to raise up great leaders. So Stir Coffee has management and oversight, where we're getting to a point now where all they do is ask me the big questions and I give yes and no's, and I trust them with the overall day-to-days, because I feel like great leadership, if the leader's not there and it's going good, you're a good leader. So that's kind of my philosophy.
Well, that kind of leads me into another thing, because you and I talked before, I think maybe a couple of weeks ago, about how you set up your church. And I found it very interesting because I've never heard of anybody doing it the same way. But tell us a little bit about that and how you have your groups and that kind of thing.
So,
which speaks to how you create leaders and
so
build.
A very common model in the church is small group ministries. Well, we kind of took that and went a different direction. So we have what we call house churches. And basically in every house church, we raise up pastors that oversee 12 to 15 people. So we're moving away from a model where it's about come and listen to one person speak, and more so raising up pastors to oversee groups of 15 so they get personal care and discipleship. So it's more so me as the founder laying the foundation. It's not about come support Pastor Kyle. It's about how can I structure the church to where it's actually supporting the people in the church and bringing them, like our vision is come alive in Christ. So I want to see every person come alive in what they're called to do.
That's awesome.
And so many businesses have that talk about how they leverage and build people up and make leaders. One of the biggest challenges of that is, does your message get diluted?
Right.
But obviously you have set up systems and you're very intentional with your time as to how you communicate with those folks to make sure everybody's kind of speaking from one mind.
Well, it's like, we have all these house churches, and you don't see me in a lot of house churches, but I have a leadership meeting, which is kind of my house church every month. So we sit down, we talk, and make sure that they understand the message, and then everything from discussion guides and structure, it makes sure we create a culture to where you can never come to church at Relentless, but you would understand the culture because you're at a house church. That's the goal. So all of our language.
But you still want them to come.
Oh yeah, still want them to come for sure. So that's just kind of what we do. Which so
that's a great model for businesses, churches, any organizations you're trying to run. So
absolutely.
And the intentionality of your time. The only thing we have control over is our time.
That's
the
right.
only thing we own.
That's right.
Sure.
And if we don't take ownership of it, we'll get run in circles.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So Kyle, lastly, how can the listeners support Stir Coffee and Relentless Church in their mission to spread love and good works in the community?
Yeah, so the biggest way obviously is come to Stir. And whether you're by yourself and you need a private space, the great thing about Stir is that we have spaces for groups of 20 people. We have conference rooms for a business meeting with a TV that you can use for presentations. And then we have areas where if you just want to be by yourself or a couple, there's all kind of areas in the coffee shop. So the biggest thing is come to the coffee shop and get some drinks, get some food, have your meetings here. That's the biggest way, because the more we bring in, the more we can give out. Sure. And the same thing with the church. We're not a church that necessarily tries to go out and commit to come in. We believe that the fruit of our labor will be the thing that drives it. So with Stir, when you support Stir, you're helping Relentless.
Planting seeds.
So,
Planting seeds. That's awesome. That's awesome. And maybe you can give them more information on how they can get in contact with you or Stir Coffee.
Yeah. So if you want to go to the church website, it's relentlesschurchsav.com, and at the very top of that, you'll see a tab for Stir as well. So if you want to go to that website, there's email, there's phone numbers. You can go to Stir the same way, and you can access any of our information from that website, relentlesschurchsav.com.
Awesome.
And the address is?
505 US Highway 80, Pooler, Georgia, 31322.
Right next to the glass.
All American Glass. That's right. That's right. Right off Highway 80.
Yeah, so you can see the vision.
That's right.
So again, thank y'all so much for another episode of watching another episode of the Dream Builders podcast, where our mission is to help buyers, sellers, agents, nonprofits, and small businesses connect to the resources and knowledge of achieving their goals. Again, this podcast is sponsored by Page Properties Team, TheDream E.N.T, Real Estate for a Reason, and Make Real Estate Fun Again. And again, thank you KGCI Real Estate on Air for collaborating with the Dream Builders podcast. Again, we would love to continue this relationship and so much more. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, a fantastic week. But Kyle, thank you so much.
Thank you
again for coming on the Dream Builders podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, it was definitely
Awesome.
awesome.
Cool.
Okay.
That's
See
a
you
wrap.
guys.
Peace.